So, this time I'll be talking about addiction. Yes, so I think you know that this is a serious problem, for in the world today, really generally, and especially, one drug, especially that's been very prevalent in both Europe and USA has been, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention it, but anyway, it's called, starts with a C anyway, the name. So anyway, uh, but certainly addiction can come in many shapes, and as most of there can be an addiction to, say, besides drugs, of course, you can be an addict in many ways. You can be addicted to shopping. You can be addicted to even shoplifting, let's say, or you can be addicted to overeating or food. You know, certain types of foods, often better, better. The fatter, the better. That's how it goes. And there are many other types of addictions in general. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this true story of a famous man who has battled addiction for a long time. The actor, Lilo Brancato. He, I watched his interview with on Vlad TV, and several times. I first seen it earlier this year. I believe it was sometime in spring anyway. So this interview is from 2019. So where he talks, this is very very interesting interview, one of the best I've seen on that channel, and for sure. And what really kind of irritates me about Vlad, he usually like invites these guys who, you know, former criminals, wise guys, rappers, people who are really not respectable, to put it that way. But this was a guy, just a regular guy, an actor, who really he became famous a little too early, So he wasn't ready for that, and so he, you know, to cope with that pressure, it would have been tremendous pressure for even anyone and someone in his 20s or 30s, but still, when he was like 17 when that movie came out, The Bronx Tale. He was 16 when they were shooting it, so. And yeah, so he got hooked instantly, but it wasn't that bad, He says first few years, it wasn't so bad, but then he had an accident and then he got hooked on, these painkillers and that stuff. So, but he says I have a very addictive personality by nature. So yeah, some people, most stars, even though some others who broke through when they were very young, they did try that stuff, drugs or, pills, alcohol, whatever, but they kind of quickly, or rather quickly stopped, they saw this is not good for me. I gotta kick this habit. So they did. I mean, I think guys like Sean Penn, for instance, I think he did some drugs early on. And yeah, but there are guys who have actually gone through the same stuff and never really touched a drug in their life. I mean, they might have occasionally, drank or something like that. But, you know, this is really a serious matter, when at that age, like he was 17, for Christ's sake, he was just a child, you might say, and he started doing drugs at first, but he said it was, ecstasy and all that stuff, some kind of lighter drugs, mushrooms, and yeah, it's not exactly the heaviest, it doesn't create the worst type of addiction, this stuff. Whereas heroin and cocaine, let's mention them, all right. Even though this video might be censored for that, they are really, the worst kind of things. And yeah, he said that he missed an audition to Saving Private Ryan because of that, because he thought he could go out one night, have, do what he usually does, get stoned, and still, show up for the audition tomorrow. So that's what these type of drugs do to you. Actually, they make you think you can do anything. You can snort whatever, a whole line, or several lines of coke, and then you think, oh yeah, I can go out and run the marathon tomorrow morning. No problem, no problem. So that's what Especially, I've never tried any of these, knock on wood, but I have read and seen a lot of documentaries about where people who used to, and I've known a couple of former drug addicts. One guy I was pretty close with. He used to be a heroin addict for 5 years, but then he got sober, so that was a miracle. But unfortunately, still he wasn't well. Even though he got sober, he still had his health issues. So actually, then our contact broke. And I had never, hadn't seen or heard from him for many years. And then it wasn't long ago I wanted to find him online, so see what's going on if he was on Facebook or something. So actually, what turns out, he was dead. He had died actually, and that was in 2018, I believe, or was it? Yeah, January. So that was very sad, of course. So the man was only 45 or 46, I believe. So there you see, there you go. I don't know what happened. I don't know really what happened. If he had started using something, I don't know. But he did complain to me that he sometimes could not sleep unless he took that pill or this pill. Or he did use a lot of medicine, a medication. So and many of these former, drug addicts, even when they get clean, they are still not 100%, healthy, and actually they can never be. So they seldom live very long. That's the saddest part, unless well, this is about heroin. Well, mostly heroin addicted. Yeah, people. So fortunately, I don't think Brancato was doing heroin, but he was doing some heavy shit for sure. So yeah. But anyway, what I wanted to say is this: it's about too often about filling a gap, in your life by using some, or addiction is most often either about stress, finding something to help you cope with the mental or emotional stress, or it can be about filling a gap, a serious gap in your life. So, and the worst part, of course, is that they always say, no, no, I'm fine, I'm not an addict, no. Same as alcoholics, they say, oh no, I just drink a few cans of beer, a few beers, nothing serious, nothing big. While in reality, they are drinking like, gallons of hard liquor like every day, like several bottles, like, Duff McKagan, let's use him as an example. He like said he would drink like 2 or 3 bottles, I'm not sure, of hard liquor per day, and also like 10 bottles of wine or something. That was fuck me, man. That's insane. Because he's a big guy, I guess he could take all that. But no, he almost died, of course, because of that. No, but my real point is that I think too many people or too few people realize how dangerous stuff like cocaine is. I see so many people who almost endorse cocaine. Some celebrities even. That's not. That's very wrong. Of course, that's not right at all. And yeah, now you even got a fragrance that is called cocaine. How fucked up is that? It's like when you can smell, like. So what will that do if you buy that and you can smell it, the smell of cocaine, and you like it? What do you think is gonna happen next? Most likely, you will wanna try it, right? It's no, it's a no-brainer. Come on. So stuff like that should be forbidden, definitely. I mean, if you really must take any kind of opiate, then rather, use the, you know, I'm not really for that. I'm not for any kind of drugs, but if you must, I'm saying, if you really must, marijuana, spliffs, as they call them in England. So, but as I said, that's not too good either. I mean, it's better not to use anything. But I know how today's society is. I know how many people struggle emotionally, psychologically, have enormous press on them. So sometimes these things can help, relieve that pressure, of course. But you gotta watch out so you don't get too addicted, of course. Yeah. So yeah, this is not really. This is and of course, pandemic can only make this worse as well. I've seen people like in my neighborhood who, under the worst pandemics, were looking suspicious. You would see people standing there late at night. What are they doing? Talking to someone on the phone. I could tell instantly what they were up to. That's just the way it is. Everybody finds their way to deal with. But just remember, once you fall down that well, the way back is really, really hard. It's terrible. Alright, thank you for listening to me. Stay safe, stay healthy.